Hey guys, Chris here, Midlife Carpentry. Let's have a chat about XGT. Let you know how I've been going with them. I'm going to pull all the tools out and yeah, there we are this time on Midlife Carpentry. Talk soon. G'day guys, Chris here, Midlife Carpentry, here for another little installment. But today's a little bit of a special one, I reckon. We're going to focus a little bit on the XGT. Look, I've had the tools a while now, so I've actually been using them a bit. So I felt it's probably about time that I had a bit of a sit down and a chat with you guys and let you know how they're going. I know there's a few of you keen and have been following me and interested in the tools. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. Let's go through it. So basically, why is XGT or 40 volt here? Where did that all come from and stuff? And this video is completely my opinions, guys. You take everything for a grain of salt. Take what you wish out of it. But look, my personal opinion, I think XGT has come out and roaring. Obviously they've got so much gear and stuff that they've already bought out already just for this, but I'm still surprised at the direction they're heading with it. So I think their main focus at the moment, I think definitely, is outdoor power equipment. So there's a lot of pressure out there, and there's even some towns and countries and stuff where they're actually banning combustion engine equipment. So things like your whippersnippers, your mowers, chainsaws, stuff like that. So they're actually getting rid of most of that combustion gear. And what's there to replace it? Battery. You've got to go battery. And to find a decent battery system that works for you and stuff, especially commercial guys who are mowing lawns on a daily basis and brush cutting and trimming and chainsawing and all that sort of stuff. Like you really need something that's going to last and something that's going to keep battery life. So you're not burning through 30 batteries in a day and having to charge up that amount for the next day. So yeah, I think that's their focus at the moment. I've noticed they've even got big gear. That massive. There's a 14-inch cutoff saw out there at the moment. It runs on two 8 amp hour XGT batteries. So I don't know whether you know the 8s. The 8s are massive. This is just a 4, but the 8s are a huge battery, and it runs on 2 of those. So I'm interested to see the runtime on that and how long it runs, and because it takes a fair bit of torque to cut through concrete. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with what they're bringing out, what they're trying to achieve in the platform. So anyway, how are the tools going? Look, to be honest, I've managed to use every tool, which is good, which is always a bonus. Some a lot more than others, as you can see. The old impact drive is getting a bit of a knock around. There's a few little bits of rubber knocked off there. This hasn't come off yet, which is surprising because this is a fairly common problem. That little cowling thing that glows in the dark, that normally does pop off. But yeah, it's had a few knocks around and stuff, a few little drops here and there, but it's still going strong. Yeah, pretty impressed with it, no big issues. So in regards to performance and stuff, pretty impressed by it. It is faster than some of the 18 volt gear that's out there at the moment. There is an 18 volt version very similar to this, and it kind of sort of reiterates the fact that technically this isn't a brand new designed impact driver. There's a lot of flack about this online, I've noticed. A lot of people are giving the old 40 volt a lot of flack because we've got a Makita impact driver with a 40 volt battery on it, and it's still behind a lot of others that are out there. Your Milwaukee's, the new DeWalt 20 volts come out as well, and I've seen some reviews where it's able to keep up with that as well. So something I haven't seen though is longevity, and that brings me to my first point, my big point about this XGT system and what I love about them: battery life. Battery life, battery life, battery life. Unreal. Fantastic battery life, guys. That is the biggest thing that I'm really enjoying about these tools, is the fact that I can put on a 2.5 amp hour battery, all right, use it for a good stint of the day, okay, and potentially into the next day, use it for a good stint of that as well, depending on what you're doing. Obviously, it's all relative, and then not have to charge it until that evening or something. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Like I'm able to use, like I've only got 5 batteries, but I've never not had power available. I've never had all the batteries flat in one hit. It just hasn't happened in the space of a day. I've never had to charge during the day. I always charge in the evenings when I come home. What I do, actually, here's an interesting one for you guys. If you're ever wondering, I've got a Mac pack. Okay, inside it, I've got 4 slots, and I've cut out the little insert, and I can get the XGT batteries. They sit in there nice, and I can get the 2.5 in there as well. So I get those batteries sitting in here all locked away, and then what happens when I need to charge, I pull this out of the ute, and I bring it home. So that's a systematic. That's kind of how I roll at the moment. So, because I'm not burning through batteries, I'm finding sometimes I can not have to grab that Mac pack. I don't have to bring that home every day. It's every couple of days. It's every 3 days. You know, sometimes just at the end of the week, just bring in, give the batteries a bit of a touch up. I think most of them at the moment. This is Friday. A bar down on one of the 40 volt 4 amp hours. I lost a bar, and I think one of the 2.5s is flat completely. Yeah, so 2.5 is dead, and the other 2.5 is full. So, but it's all relative to the work you're doing, okay? I run the 2.5s mainly on my impact drivers and my drill. Rarely would I ever run that sort of on the hammer drill or the grinder or anything like that. So I try and keep that for the bigger gear, so I don't burn out my 2.5. So I'd rather run a 2.5 on my impact driver than a 4 on my impact driver. So there's just not a huge difference, but you feel the difference. There is a weight difference there, and when you're hanging it off your tool belt and stuff all day, it adds up. So the other honourable mention I have is that something I'm glad I did is I got this 1/2-inch driver as a part of the kit. So what's been good is the fact that with that Gordon Bell project and stuff, we're actually putting in batten screws in the hardwood. So just putting extra screws in and stuff to ensure that it meets certification. So batten screws. And the good thing is that I had this one set up with impact driver head. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, so an impact driver head on it, and it had a little hex head to run the battens. So we're pre-drilling and sending it with this, which meant that, after, I don't know how they'd go really. I know batten screws they are pretty demanding on impact drivers. So I think it's a clever way to go, I think, to be able to utilize the two. So if I am pumping out batten screws and doing quite a few of them, I'll jump on the 1/2-inch and I'll utilize that rather than, don't get me wrong, like this is fine for one-offs and stuff that need to happen. Like that's cool, throwing a batten screw here and there, change a bit out where you go. But if you're doing a full day of batten screws and stuff, yeah, jump up to your 1/2-inch and away you go. That's my opinion anyway, my thoughts. Drill's been good. I mean, there's a lot of reviews about this drill. It's very popular little drill. I've realistically probably haven't used it that much. So yeah, I can't really say too much on it. Not a great deal on it. Great for steel, comfortable use. Definitely worthwhile. Okay, what else we got? We got the hammer drill. Now the hammer drill. This thing is a bit of a beast. Now it is a copy of of the 18 volt version, I'm pretty sure. I think there is an 18 volt version that probably uses 2 batteries. I believe it's very similar to that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a tool review guy. There's other guys out there that do that stuff. I ain't the smart one, you know. So, but just to give you an idea, we had to drill 16 mil holes in slab, okay? We had about 26 of them, I think it was. 16 mil and the full shank, like 250 mil deep. Like these holes were fairly deep. We had to run down threaded bar with cam set to hold down some acro props on a roof, funnily enough. Going and the XGT going as well. So we had both 40 volt and the 18 volt going. 18 was working off the walls, so that was only 150 in of the 16 mil bit, and this is 250 in, or a bit longer, I think thereabouts, of the 16 mil bit. So the bit was a bit longer on this one. I burnt through, in that period, drilling out 1 battery fully and 1 bar off a second battery for those holes. The other drill, the 18 volt, I think worked through maybe 5 batteries, 5 or 6. So, I mean, it's a running test. This is very, very vague, don't get me wrong, but it's just you can clearly see the more you use this equipment, the better the longevity of the batteries are. That is the biggest thing on it, is your battery life is fantastic. Power is there, yes, you don't feel any lag in it. The grinder is unreal. Like I reckon you could put this up against a 240 volt grinder, a 240 volt plugged in powered grinder, and you'd be surprised at what it can do. I'm genuinely impressed with this. Just little features and stuff on it, like, you know, rotatable cowling and stuff to spin that around nice and easy. Apparently you can actually twist the head as well, so you can undo your screws at the top and turn the head around, so that if you're someone who always cuts with a grinder, always does cutting as opposed to grinding and stuff, turn your head around so your cutting just is that way and your button's nice and pretty. Yeah, so it's entirely up to you, and that way your handle's sort of sitting in a different position too. But that's the grinder. Recipro saw, done a little bit of work with that as well. Not a great deal, not a huge amount. We haven't done a great deal of demo in that area, so I can't really sort of give you a full-on feed on that. What I have noticed, great for steel. Put your steel blade on it and sand it, and away you go. So, but it's all relative to the blades, I've noticed, and that's with any reciprosaw, I suppose, is the blades you put in it. Yeah. As for the saw, love the saw. Big fan of the compound miter saw. It is the bomb. Don't get to use it anywhere near as much. I am going to pull it out for a play this week though, because I've got to make a Christmas tree. So I'll post those up later on. I'll show you guys what that's all about. But I've got to make a Christmas tree, which is good. So yeah, so we're using that, and I might even see if we can use the pin nail and stuff to do what I want to do with it as well. So yeah, see how it all pans out. I have an idea on how to do it. Yeah, the seed was planted by the wife last week, and we're going to give it a crack and see if we can do it out of twigs and sticks and stuff. So yeah, a bit of a challenge. Yeah, so that's what I'm finding. The other side of it is the ergonomics and comfort and stuff is there. Like just the tools feel balanced, they feel nice. But in saying that, guys, like you know, I'm a first year apprentice. I haven't been doing carpentry to 15 to 20 years. I haven't used the same 18 volt tools for so long. So it's take this little sort of run through it for a grain of salt. Like obviously everyone has their own ways and ideas on what they think is good and what they think is bad. So from the short time I've had them, like I'm genuinely impressed with them. The battery life is unreal. Yes, there are a few poor reviews out there for some of the gear. You can take that as you must, because a lot of people, a lot of tools and stuff will be like that though. It doesn't matter what tool system you buy, you will always find someone or some tool will come out that'll be better than that. So it's entirely up to you. It's your choice whether you want to always be at the top of your game and have the best tool the whole time, or whether you're after that reliability and whether you want to just hang on to your tools for the next 10 to 15 years. And that's kind of where my head's at. Like, I can't see myself upgrading any of these tools for quite some time. It obviously depends on how they run and how they go and how long they last. But yeah, genuinely impressed with them. I think Makita are on a bit of a winner here. I think the XGT and 40 volt line, I think is, like I said, is more for the bigger gear, really. But some of the smaller stuff and stuff they brought out is really good, really impressive and stuff. I know they've got their track saw that's come out as well, which would be handy because, again, it's the battery life. It's the fact you've only got one battery on it and away you go. You're not using two batteries just to do your cuts, and then after a couple of hours, those two batteries are gone and you've got to charge them. So yeah, you sort of step away from having a charger running on your job site on a daily basis. As for dislikes, things that I'm not really a fan of, things that I've noticed, look, probably the biggest thing is price. Like obviously these are expensive tools, and it is something that I've been getting a bit of flack about as well. Apparently I'm a rich bastard. But look, it's all relative to the money you want to spend. Like I was in a position to spend money. I've got a 2002 Commodore Ute that I got from my parents that I'm driving around in. So I went down that road as opposed to getting something I bought semi-new and putting racks on it and stuff. And I put my money towards tools. That's me. That's what I did. I had a bit of a budget, and that's the direction I went. Like I went towards tools, and I want to make sure my tools are up to scratch and stuff. So guys, hopefully that's helped out a heap. I hope you've enjoyed my little run through, a little rundown of stuff on some of the gear that I've used. I'm, like I said, impressed with the tools. I think there's more good things to come from 40 volt, definitely. It's good to see Makita is still punching out the 18 volt gear. There's stuff that I'd wish was 40 volt that is still 18 volt at the moment. They still haven't head down that road. But obviously, like I said, I cannot help but feel their focus is on those combustion engines, trying to get into the market to get a foot in the door to be able to go, hey, we can supply you a product that you don't need any fuel for. We can supply a product that you don't need to maintain on a regular basis, all right? No, you have to maintain it to a degree, but you haven't got an engine to maintain. You haven't got fuel going off. You haven't got carburetors, tarnishing up and stuff and being hard to run or hard to start. You haven't got that frustration, and two, having guys out there trying to fix or tinker and stuff with things. So yeah, put the battery in, press the button, away you go. Like that, it's simple. Like my old man's got a chainsaw. He's got a dual 18 volt chainsaw, which is unreal. We've got the blowers as well. The big blowers that are out at the moment, they're fantastic. They're really coming about. So yeah, outdoor power equipment, they're really pushing the game there. And I think once they get their handle on that, I think the focus will come back more to construction, or they might even try and balance it out. I don't know. Personally, I'm not sure. Who knows, they might start building electric bikes or something. I don't know. Not much on me this week, but we'll go through that. We'll have a bit of a chat and stuff with the Christmas wrap up and stuff coming up next weekend, and our jobs coming up. We'll finish off there too. So yeah, build on, legends. Thank you very much again, as always, and we'll chat again soon, eh? All right, have a good weekend, guys. See ya. Bye.